I'm Elijah the prophet in the Bible. And I see a lot of people having a hard time, just thinking the fact that Elijah the prophet is alive today. What do you expect the people from the Bible to look like today? Because I'm not the only one alive in the Bible. And I know there's others, and I know that for a fact. And I can stand in front of the world and say that. So what I want to say is that I am Elijah the prophet. And if you know Elijah the prophet in the Bible, then you also know King Manasseh, who is Asenath's and Joseph's son. And I'm also Elijah the prophet, and Saint Elias is the same person in the Bible. So for everybody who reads the Bible, who's into the Bible, you want to go check it, fact check it, you can. King Manasseh, Elijah the prophet, and Saint Elias is the same person, and that's me. And I can stand in front of the world and say that. And when I say the world, I'm not just talking America. I'm talking all countries. I am Elijah the prophet in the Bible.
Shalom. All praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. All right, this video is going to be entitled Response. You are not the prophet Elijah, or Elijah the prophet. So this is a response to the video that you just saw. All right, it was put up by the brother Hopefully Lake 3. And you got this bugged out Jake saying that he's Elijah the prophet. And we're going to just prove to you in the scriptures, first off, that this dude is not Elijah the prophet. Okay. Now, reincarnation is a real thing. And this dude does understand that biblical concept. However, he's out of his mind. First, we're going to go to Isaiah 8, verse 20. And it reads, to the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them. You see? So unless you bring something out of the Bible, you're going to read it for proof, then you don't have any light in you. And there's nowhere in the Bible where it says that that the prophet Elijah and King Manasseh were the same being. It's not even implicated. And it's two different ends of the spectrum, because the prophet Elijah was a righteous man, a chosen man of the Lord, and King Manasseh was a wicked king. Okay, so they wouldn't even be the same spirit, first off. Secondly, firstly, nobody, according to the scriptures, nobody's going to know. Like, for example, the prophet Elijah wouldn't say he was Elijah. He would say he doesn't know who he is, right? He's not going to say he knows who he is, because that's scriptural. We don't remember from, carnation to carnation who we are. This is Ecclesiastes 1. I'm going to jump in here at verse 9. It says, the thing that have been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun. Is there anything whereof it may be said, see, this is new? It hath been already of old time, which was before us. So, we come back on the earth. We leave, we come back, right? But it says here in verse 11, there is no remembrance of former things, neither shall there be any remembrance of things that are to come with those that shall come hereafter. So if you are, in fact, somebody from the old days, you're not going to be able to come and say, I'm so-and-so, I'm King David, I'm King, I'm Elijah, I'm King Manasseh, or whatever. You're not going to say that, because it's withheld from your memory. It's withheld from us knowing who we are. That's how the Lord works. And that's scriptural. So you already violated. You're already going off. And furthermore, Elijah wouldn't be some nigga in America with ashy lips, with chopped up mustache and a chopped up, no beard, with dreadlocks or some kind of braids on top of his head like damn Coolio, and not even doing the work, might I add. Elijah would be involved in the ministry. Let's go real quick and grab this. This is 1 Corinthians 14 and 32. It says, and the spirits of the prophets are subject to the prophets. What does that mean? That the prophets are going to do what they've always done. The prophets come back in their light. If you were Elijah the prophet, you would be doing what Elijah did. He was prophesying. He was teaching the word. Up until this time, we never even heard of you. If you was to ask this Jake what sin is, he'd tell you he don't know. The Most High ain't dealing with Jakes like this. He just a bugged out nigga. Jake think because you can holler out some shit and we can't prove, like we can't really prove that you're not Elijah. I mean, we can prove it in the scriptures, but that's a vague thing that you may say is my word against your word. How you know I ain't Elijah? Well, we know you're not Elijah because what we just read. King David is not going to come forth in the last days and say, I'm King David. He's not going to be able to remember. Neither would Elijah the prophet, okay? Now, let's read this one more time. It says, and the spirits of the prophets are subject to the prophets. Now, I would just wonder what these different translations say. It says NLT, remember that people who prophesy are in control of their spirit and can take turns. I don't know if that's right. NIV, the spirits of the prophets are subject to the control of prophets. They got that. They just kind of got it wrong on that. So the spirit of the prophets are subject to the prophets. Just like the spirits of the Sodomites and the Gomorrites are going to come back and do the same thing they did. Even Yahushua said right here in Matthew 23. If we can go there. This is what he said. Matthew 23 and verse 30. We'll start at 29. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, because ye build the tombs of the prophets and garnish the sepulchres of the righteous. And say, if we had been in the days of our fathers, we would not have been partakers with them in the blood of the prophets. Wherefore ye be witnesses unto yourselves that ye are the children of them which killed the prophets. Fill ye up then the measure of your fathers. Meaning what? You're going to do what you've always done. You were prophet killers in the old days. You're going to be the same ones coming back. You were against whatever prophets. You're going to be against the prophets in the times to come. You see, the spirits of the prophets are subject unto the prophets. And that's just the bottom line. So you're going to fill up the measure of your fathers. Now let's read real quick here and prove to you that King Manasseh was a wicked, because this dude also said he was King Manasseh. So you can't be the prophet Elijah and King Manasseh because they were different. King Manasseh was a wicked king. Elijah was a prophet of the Lord. King Manasseh, he worshiped Baal. Elijah didn't worship Baal. He worshiped Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Let's prove this. This is 2 Kings 21:1. Manasseh was 12 years old when he began to reign, and reigned 50 years in Jerusalem, and his mother's name was Hephzibah. And he did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord, after the abominations of the heathen, whom the Lord cast out before the children of Israel. What did he do? For he built up the high places which Hezekiah his father had destroyed. And he reared up altars for Baal, and made a grove, as did Ahab king of Israel, and worshiped all the hosts of heaven, and served them. And he built altars in the house of the Lord, of which the Lord said, in Jerusalem will I put my name. And he built altars for all the hosts of heaven in the two courts of the house of the Lord. And he made his son pass through the fire, and observed times, and used enchantments, and dealt with familiar spirits and wizards. He wrought much wickedness in the sight of the Lord, to provoke him to anger. You see what King Manasseh was? He was a wicked man. And he set a graven image of the grove, and he set a graven image of the grove that he had made in the house, of which the Lord said to David and to Solomon his son, in this house and in Jerusalem, which I have chosen out of all tribes of Israel, will I put my name forever. Neither will I make the feet of Israel move any more out of the land which I gave their fathers, only if they will observe to do according to all that I have commanded them, and according to all the law that my servant Moses commanded them. But they hearkened not, and Manasseh seduced them to do more evil than did the nations whom the Lord destroyed before the children of Israel. You see that? So King Manasseh was super wicked. And the Lord spake by his servants the prophets, saying, because Manasseh king of Judah had done these abominations, and had done wickedly above all that the Amorites did, which were before him, and had made Judah also to sin with his idols. Therefore thus said the Lord power of Israel, behold, I am bringing such evil upon Jerusalem and Judah, that whosoever heareth it, both his ears shall tingle. And I will stretch over Jerusalem the line of Samaria, and the plummet of the house of Ahab, and I will wipe Jerusalem as a man wipeth a dish, and wiping it, and turning it upside down. And I will forsake the remnant of mine inheritance, and deliver them into the hand of their enemies, and they shall become a prey and a spoil to all their enemies, because they have done that which is evil in my sight, and have provoked me to anger since the day their fathers came forth out of Egypt, even unto this day. Moreover, Manasseh shed innocent blood very much, till he had filled Jerusalem from one end to the other, to another, beside his sin wherewith he made Judah to sin, and doing that which was evil in the sight of the Lord. So this man was very evil. He was a very wicked, wicked king. So if you proclaiming that you're Manasseh the prophet, Manasseh the king, King Manasseh, should I say, and Elijah the prophet, you definitely going off, because when you read about Elijah, what do you read? 1 Kings 19 and 18. Right? Yeah, we jump right in here. This is what the Lord said. 1 Kings 19 and 18. Yet I have left me 7,000 in Israel, all the knees which have not bowed unto Baal, and every mouth which hath not kissed him. So he departed thence and found Elisha the son of Shaphat, who was plying with 12 yoke of oxen before him, and he with the 12th. And Elijah passed by him and cast his mantle upon the ground. So when the Lord said he chose men and never worshiped Baal, he was talking about Elijah and the other men, right? A complete number of men. Now it says here, and he left the oxen and ran after Elijah and said, Let me, I pray thee, kiss my father and my mother, and then I will follow thee. And he said unto him, Go back again, for what have I done to thee? And we can stop right there. I just want to get that main thing. Yet have I left 7,000 men in Israel, all the knees which have not bowed unto Baal, and every mouth which hath not kissed him. Right now, when you go forward to the New Testament, this is what you see. Revelation 11 and 5, right here, and we'll start at verse. We'll start at 1. Romans 11 and 1. I say then, hath the Most High cast away his people? Power forbid. For I also am an Israelite, of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin. The Most High hath not cast away his people which he foreknew. What ye not what the scripture saith of Elias, who was Elijah, how he maketh intercession to the Most High against Israel, saying, Lord, they have killed thy prophets and digged down thine altars, and I am left alone, and they seek my life. But what saith the answer of the Most High unto him? I have reserved to myself 7,000 men who have not bowed the knee to the image of Baal. King Manasseh did the opposite. He raised up high places for Baal. Even so then, at this present time also, there is a remnant according to the election of grace, who are in the spirit of what? Elijah and John the Baptist. As a matter of fact, Elijah was John the Baptist in the reincarnation. This is Matthew 11 and 12. It says, I'm going to start at 11. Verily I say unto you, among them that are born of women, there hath not risen a greater than John the Baptist. Notwithstanding, he that is least in the kingdom of heaven is greater than he. And from the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven suffereth violence, and the violent take it by force. For all the prophets and the law prophesied unto John. And if ye will receive it, this is Elias, which was for to come. So John the Baptist was Elijah, and Elijah was John the Baptist. They were both prophets, both men of the Lord, and both elect men of the Lord. And King Manasseh wasn't. You see that? So that's just quick proof that this nigga couldn't possibly, he's out of his mind. How you gonna be a wicked man and a righteous man of the Lord at the same time? That shows you right there he don't understand what's going on. It's just a nigga saying something, man. See, a nigga can come and make these claims, but you can't back it up in the scriptures. Worth nothing. You are not Elijah the prophet. You a bug out.